Hey, I'm back. Thanks to my Apple iPhone 6, apparently my storage is full, so it cut my video off. So we're going to go right into where I left off. This is video number 2, and I apologize for that you guys have to click on 2 videos, but anyway, here we go. What I was talking about was how your thoughts create your life, which is absolutely true. Your thoughts create your feelings, which create your actions, which create your results in life. So the fact that anything external that you are dealing with right now, mainly moms, your addicts, your adult children that are making decisions that you don't necessarily agree with, right? And um, what I've been taught in not only my certification for life coach school, but in my own journey, learning how to deal with addicts that were absolutely making my life hell and crazy, and where I couldn't even deal um, with anything. I have completely lost myself in the fact that my kids were running my life. I was addicted to my addicts, pretty much. So when I figured out that my thoughts and my story about being the victim in all of this um, completely changed my life, is changing my thoughts and ultimately changing the way I feel about them. So what I've discovered is I can love them no matter what. I can love them unconditionally, just as the way they are. I can be proud of them just the way they are. And I can also see them through this and be here as a guiding post, as their mother, to be here if they reach out and want help. In the meantime, not let them manipulate me or continually cause me pain and suffering, because it was affecting me both physically, mentally, health wise, you name it. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, I wasn't running my company the way I should run my company. Um, my kids were absolutely overtaking my life, and I couldn't I couldn't figure out what to do until I started reading everything I could about um, personal development, about um, getting my life back in order, so I could help them from a place of strength, not a place of weakness. And external circumstances, being my kids that were seemingly running my life, I had to take back control of my own life and say, you know what? I'm here if you need me, and I'm here if you need help. And you just say the word. But at this point, I had to back off and let go. And I never gave up on my kids, never, or my grandkids, to the point where I wanted them to be who they needed to be at the time. So my advice to you is to really think about what you want and really how you want to feel in in a situation where you're dealing with an adult addict. Um, what I was saying before my video cut me off was that 50% of life is positive and wonderful and beautiful, and we should all embrace that. And 50% of life is ass, which is horrible, and things happen in this world, whether it to be us or world at large. You just click on the news and you can feel bad if you want to feel bad about anything that's going on. We have no control of that. You have no control over anything but yourself. So, so I guess what I want to say to you guys, you mamas out there, I understand, because I'm one of you. I've been there, done that, and I'm on the other side of addiction, Any of you that are completely involved with your children that you just want to fix and rescue and enable and, meet their needs, um, please don't meet their needs. Don't make their decisions for them. Don't make their choices for them. Um, Sit back and realize that they need to take responsibility because you don't want to be responsible for their irresponsibility, if you get my drift. When there's children involved, grandkids involved, um, which brings me to another note, which I'm just going to answer right now. There was a reader that wrote me, obviously a grandmom. I am a grandmom, so I totally get it. When you're dealing with grandchildren, how do you explain to them that mommy or daddy is hungover, or mommy or daddy is strung out, or drunk, or verbally abusive to their mom, or just disconnected? Well, let me tell you something. You don't have to explain anything. This one grandma, and I'll read the question to you guys. I sent out 2 questions to my list. Um, Number 1 question is, what is your top 2 challenges you are experiencing dealing with an addict in your family? She answered, how do I explain to his 3-year-old daughter why he is not here? You don't have to explain anything. Nothing. She's 3, okay? She's this beautiful little girl that has no idea what her father is doing. She also doesn't have the analytical mind or the reasoning power as a child to understand what an addiction is. So that your job as a grandmom, and believe me, I've been there, your job as a grandmom is to love her and take care of her if you're able and willing and near. I'm not. I live in New Mexico now, 18 years in New Mexico, and my grandkids are in Portland. So it was very difficult to sit back and watch when my son became verbally abusive to his fiancee, or verbally abusive to his 5-year-old, or completely disconnected, would sit in the garage with his fifth of Jack Daniels and chain smoke. And then when he got so drunk he'd throw up. Aiden didn't know anything that was going on. He had no clue. But what my future daughter-in-law did was take care of his needs. He, loved him, made sure that he had food and comfort and play and everything, because they don't get it. They don't start putting things together until they're after 6. So please don't explain to your granddaughter why your son is not there, because she doesn't really know anything. And bless her heart, all you can do is just be there and love her. If you are able, make sure that she is taken care of if you can. That's all you can do. And love your son at the same time. If he doesn't want help, he's made a decision that he's okay, or he gets abusive with you, or tells you to mind your own business, which I've been told, then do it. Mind your own business. If there is a safety factor involved, or your granddaughter's in danger, you know what to do. There's, if you want to go and take the leap, call social services. But just know that the result may not be what you want. So I'm so sorry about this, and just embrace her and make sure that she's, loved and comfortable. But don't talk to her about her father being an alcoholic or a drug addict. It ain't going to make any difference to her, and she won't know what you're talking about. And it could traumatize her that something's wrong with her daddy. So the next part of it was, What are your top two questions about this topic that pertains to your own life? That was my second question in my survey. And this grandmom answered, do we shut him out completely until he gets help? What do you want to do? Do you want to shut him out? How does that make you feel when you think about that? Does it cause you pain and suffering? Does it cause you anxiety? Does it give you this horrible picture of not having any contact with him whatsoever? Now, you can't control him until he makes that, he makes his own decisions. Obviously, you didn't say here, but obviously he's an adult. You did not say he was married, so I don't know if this little sweet little girl has a mom, but there's things you can do. But as far as shutting him out, um, I get my question is, what is the result you're trying to get? Um, is it for you to feel better? Are you going to feel better if you do that? What is the ultimate feeling you want in all of this? So start with the thought process. Be aware of what you're thinking and the stories you're making up and how you are just inside um, deeply wanting everything to work out. But you can't write the manual for your son. You can't tell him. Obviously, he's an adult um, and needs to take responsibility, but you can set up boundaries and you can be there for your granddaughter. Um, so, your son's addiction, whatever that is, and you did not say, is a reality, it's a fact. If you look at it as a neutral fact, something that could be held up at court of law, 10 people would agree that your son's has an addiction, that would be a fact, right? And arguing with reality, um, you lose, but almost 100% of the time. That's Byron Katie. What Loving What Is, great book. I suggest you get it. Byron Katie, Loving What Is. She talks about 4 questions, um, and it's all about truth. What is true? Can you change it? Um, if you can't change it, what can you change uh, your thinking about the circumstance? And you will get through this. I promise you. I promise you. But trying to change your son or the situation of your family cannot be done. You can't. The only thing you can change is you, and you are the most part and the most important part of your own recovery. Um, I'd like to help you with that if I could. Um, if you want to book a session with me, just click the button below in this newsletter, and it's free, 30 minutes, no obligation. I am a coach, so I do charge for my program. It's 6 weeks. From start to finish, it will change your life. You will be transformed in that 6 weeks based upon my training and what I've done for myself. Um, and actually learning how to manage my thoughts. But the most important thing about mental health is your mental health should be top priority in your life. You should make an investment in yourself to get through this, and stop being negative about being negative, and stop feeling bad about feeling bad about whatever's going on. It's time. It's time that you take a look and say, you know what, I'm important. Put yourself first. And other than that, I'm going to end now. Thank you for your time and listening to me ramble, but I think it was really, really important that I answered this question. I got several responses to these 2 questions over the last 3 weeks. This one bothered me the most because